Vanakkam, Kumaresh Indran here, but I'm mainly known as Kumaresh in Malaysia, and I'm coming from Seremban, which is in Negeri Sembilan actually. By profession, I'm an engineer, but Mridangam is my main passion here in Malaysia. So how I got into this Mridangam, first I need to tell about how I got into the world of music first. In the small time, there'll be in the temples where they'll have this traditional towel and nadaswaram actually. So I used to follow my grandfather and I used to see that. So by getting attracted to it, I was introduced to a master. He's actually a disciple of Ravi Shankar. His name is Maheshwaran Om. So he's no more. So what happened was, when you're kids, you don't even know what is the meaning of tabla and what's the meaning of mridangam actually. Parents will say both are same. So when I went there and I learned, and I told, okay, let me learn what is tabla, because as a small child, you only can say tabla is the most easiest word than saying mridangam because the word is much more bigger. So then I played tabla for about 15 years, and then after I had a passion to learn mridangam. So to learn mridangam, it's something that you must have the understanding of the fingering movement and how it's actually being performed. So what I did was, I was actually told not to learn mridangam in Malaysia. My master himself told me, you need to go to India to learn mridangam at that time. So then, at the age of 15, I went to India and I learned Mridangam Pattu. He's actually now in London. And then I came back and I was practicing my mridangam here. Thereafter, there was another one more performance here which took place in Museum Negara. At that time, a mridangist came down and played. And his clarity of tone was unique. I've never heard that type of tone at all. Then when I got to know who was his guru, it was Karikodi Krishnamurthy. He's a world-renowned mridangist actually in India. So I was trying to find out where is he, and I got to know that he's actually staying in London. And it's not easy actually to get lessons from them or to learn something from them. So you have to like keep asking, sir, I'm interested, so can I learn from you? It took me at least 3 years. So he wanted to see how patient I am towards getting his blessings and his approval to learn from him. So at 2007, he came down to Malaysia and I actually started learning from him. It's going to be 18 years right now. So I'm learning from him actually. And then I continued learning mridangam more and more, and I was interested also to learn the Tanjavur Bani style. So what I did was, I wanted to know how actually a Tanjavur Bani will actually sound. So I actually learned mridangam also from Sivakumar sir, who's actually in Tiruvannamalai. So now I understand what's the difference between a Tanjavur Bani and a Karakudi Bani actually. So two different types of mridangam styles which I know. The mridangam is made from a jackfruit tree. Now this jackfruit tree is actually planted whereby there's a temple. It's a Nandi temple, and the jackfruit tree is surrounded around this temple. It takes 12 years for the tree to grow. Once the tree is grown, they chop it down and then they send the wood for manufacturing to be done as a mridangam. Now the mridangam is actually made out of goat skin and buffalo skin and also iron dust powder, whereby they mix the iron dust powder with the rice paste, and it's been mixed in front here. Now this is called the Valarpirai, which is whereby the right hand side is more trebling sound, and on the left hand side is where the bass is topi, more like a boom sound. And they use varu, they call it as a varu, whereby they actually loop it and they tie it up, connecting the left hand and the left side and the right side together. In a mridangam, there's normally 7 main sounds actually it comes out from mridangam which can be produced. Normally first we start with the left, which is a ta, and then with a ti, and then tom, nam, chapu, which is called mulu chapu, ara chapu, and gumkar. These are the only main 7 sollus, or we call it the tones which can be produced out of a mridangam. So when we are normally performing a mridangam, it's in a kacheri, it's actually called a Raja Vatyam, and we surrounded with other Upapaka Vatyams actually. Normally the main artist, whoever it is, could be a violinist or a vocalist, they will normally give us a Taniya Vardaram to be performed during a kacheri. So at that point of time, whereby the Mridangam will start the lead. Once the Mridangam starts leading, it will be continued by the Ganjira or Morsing or Gadam. These are the other instruments which are called Upapakavatyams. And we will come to a conclusion while playing together, and we come with the main item called Mohara and Korvai, and then we'll pass it back to the vocalist. So I'll be performing some tempos on how to play for Mridangam for Taniya Vardhanam.